Hello everyone, welcome to your channel Potence Vlog. Kindly do like, share and subscribe to our channel. Press bell icon to get all notifications of latest videos. Today we'll begin our inorganic chemistry lecture number 1, that is classification of elements and periodicity in properties. Firstly, we'll begin with the introduction. We all know that there are 118 elements present in our periodic table. Out of these 118 elements, 94 elements are natural elements and 24 elements are synthetic elements which are man-made. Back in the year 1800, only 30 elements were known. With the discovery of more and more elements, remembering the properties of each elements were difficult for many scientists. So they started gathering information about the elements and categorizing it. The tabular form structure in which various elements are arranged according to their properties is known as periodic table. Now we'll discuss the different attempts made by the scientist to classify elements. Firstly, the Lavoisier classification. Lavoisier classified elements into metals and nonmetals. Metals are the one which loses electron. Here, the sodium will have an electronic configuration of 1s2, 2s2, 2p6 and 3s1. Now it loses one electron to attain its nearest noble gas configuration, that is neon. And nonmetals are the one which gains electrons. Here chlorine requires one element to attain its nearest noble gas configuration, that is argon. So the Lavoisier mainly classify the elements into two categories, that is metals and nonmetals. Daubernier law of triads. Daubernier classified three elements as one triad. In his law, he stated that the arithmetic mean of the atomic masses of the first and the third element in a triad would be approximately equal to the atomic mass of the second element in the triad. For example, lithium will have an atomic mass of 7, sodium 23, potassium 39. If I add the atomic mass of the lithium and potassium and divide it by 2, I'll get the atomic weight of sodium. And one more example, that is of chlorine, bromine and iodine. If I add the atomic mass of chlorine and iodine and divide it by 2, I'll get the approximate atomic weight of bromine. And this method is called as Daubernier law of triads. Limitations of Daubernier's triads. Newly discovered elements did not fit into the triads. Only a total of 5 Daubernier triads were identified. Even several known elements did not fit into any of these triads. Next is Newland law of octaves. The law of octaves states that every eighth element has similar properties when the elements are arranged in increasing order of their atomic masses. You can see here, lithium will have the similar property as that of sodium. Beryllium will have the similar properties as that of the magnesium. Boron will have similar properties as the aluminium. Carbon and silicon, nitrogen and phosphorus, oxygen and sulfur, and finally the fluorine and chlorine. So he stated that every eighth element will be having the similar properties when they're arranged in increasing order of their atomic masses. The limitations of Newland's law of octaves are Newlands could arrange elements only up to calcium. So it is only up to atomic number 20. But the elements known during that time was 56. After calcium, every eighth element did not possess the properties similar to that of the first. For example, iron, an element which resembles cobalt and nickel in its properties, is placed far away from these elements. And the periodic table did not include any inert gases because they were not discovered that time. Mendeleev's periodic table. In Mendeleev's periodic table, elements were arranged on the basis of the fundamental property, that is atomic mass. During Mendeleev's work, only 63 elements were known. He arranged the elements such that elements with similar properties fell into the same vertical columns of the periodic table. Mendelev's periodic law stated that the properties of elements are the periodic function of their atomic masses. In Mendelev's periodic table, there are 7 periods and 8 groups. As you can see here, we have 7 periods starting from hydrogen to francium and 8 groups. And you can see here the 8th group is subdivided into 3 groups. Nextly, about the merits of Mendelev's periodic table. Some gaps were left for the elements which are yet to be discovered. If a certain new element is discovered, it can be placed in a new group without disturbing an existing group. For example, Eka aluminium was placed below aluminium and later it was identified as gallium. Eka silicon was placed below silicon and later it was identified as germanium. So it was one of the major merit of the Mendelev's periodic table. Next, about the demerits of Mendelev's periodic table. It was unable to locate the place of hydrogen. So it's whether to place in the group number 1 or in the group number 7. Increase in atomic mass was not regular while moving from one element to another. Hence, the number of elements yet to be discovered was not predictable. As you know, hydrogen will have an isotopes of, it will have 3 isotopes, that is protium, deuterium and tritium, which are of different atomic masses. Now these all 3 isotopes were placed in the same groups, which is one of the major demerit of the Mendelev's periodic table. And elements with similar properties were placed in the different groups, that is of platinum and aluminium. You can see here the platinum is placed in the 8th subgroup, that is C, and now the gold is placed in the first group. Almost they have similar properties, but they are placed in the first and the 8th group. Even that is one of the major demerit. Modern periodic table by Henry Moseley. Moseley formed the basis of modern periodic law. He discovered that the square root of the frequency of the more prominent X-ray emitted by the metal was proportional to the atomic number and not the atomic weight of the atom of the metal. Hence, atomic number should be the basis of classification of elements, where the Mendeleev considered atomic weight as the basis of classification of elements. Modern periodic law states that physical and chemical property of the elements are periodic function of their atomic number. Structural features of the long form of the periodic table. As you can see here, in modern periodic table, we have 18 groups and 7 periods. Groups are nothing but 18 vertical columns of the periodic table. They're called as groups. Now, group 1, 2, and 13 to 18, they're called as representative elements or normal elements, and group 3 to 12, they're called as transition elements, and the elements which are below transition elements, they're called as the, so the elements which are below transition elements, they're called as the inner transition elements. The elements belonging to a particular group is known as a family, and it's usually named after the first element. For example, boron family, it's of group 13. You can see the boron is the first member of this group and we can call it as boron family. And carbon, it's the first member of the 14th group and we can call it as carbon family. And in addition to this, some groups have typical names. Okay, some groups will have their typical names according to their characteristics. For example, elements of group 1, they're called as alkali metals. Elements of group 2, they're called as alkaline earth metals. And elements of group 15 are called pinacogens. Elements of group 16, they're called as chalcogens. Elements of group 17, they're called as halogens. Okay. Next is about the periods. There are 7 horizontal rows. They are called as periods. The 7 periods of the periodic table have been described here. You can see the first period is the shortest period, which consists of 2 elements, that is hydrogen and helium. And next 2 periods, they're called as short periods, which contains 8 elements each. They're called as short periods. Next 2 elements, that is 4th period and 5th period, they're called as long periods, which contains 18 elements each. And the longest period, you can see the longest period is the 6th period, starting from cesium, which is of atomic number 55, and ending with radon, if atomic number 86. It has 32 elements in its period. And The seventh period, it's called as incomplete period because it starts from francium, that is atomic number 87, and however that period is incomplete and it contains total of 26 elements. Our modern periodic table is divided into four main blocks. For example, you can see here group 1 and 2, they're called as S block elements because the last valence electron entering here, it's the S block. To the last valence electron is entering into the S orbital. And you can see from 13 to 18, the last valence electron is entering to the p orbital, so it is called as p block. And in transition elements here, the last valence electron is entering into the d orbital, so they are called as d block. And in inner transition elements, last valence electron is entering to the f orbital, it is called as f block. Now, as you know, here the fourth period they are called as 3D transition series, as the 3D orbital will be filled, and in fifth period will be called as 4D transition series, as the 4D orbitals will be filled, and in the sixth period will be called as 5D series, as the 5D orbitals will be filled. Next, about the F block. So F blocks are, it is below the transition elements, comprises of two horizontal rows placed at the bottom of the periodic table to avoid unnecessary expansion and to maintain the symmetrical nature of the periodic table. The two series of F block elements contains 14 elements each. Okay, it contains 14 elements each. That is, you can see here the below the transition elements or inner transition elements, there are 14 elements each in the both of these periods. And first row it's called as lanthanides and second row it is called as actinides. So lanthanides starting from the atomic number 57 to, that is ytterbium, that is atomic number 17, and the actinides starting from the atomic number 89 ending with the atomic number 102. Okay, that is about the actinides. Next, one more point which you have to remember is the elements after uranium in the actinide series. For example, the elements after uranium in the actinide series, they are called as transuranium elements, and all of them are radioactive elements. So elements after uranium in the actinide series are called as transuranium elements. These are all radioactive elements, that is from neptunium to lawrencium. Prediction of period. In the electronic configuration of an atom, the principal quantum number of valence electron represents the period of an element. Here we will take an example of calcium. Calcium will have an atomic number of 20 and its electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6 and 4s2. The last electronic configuration, okay, the last electronic configuration is 4s2 and the principal quantum number represents the period here. So the last electronic configuration is 4s2 and the principal quantum number is 4 and the calcium belongs to fourth period. Next, about the prediction of group. The orbitals s, p, d or f which receives the last electron represents the block of the element. See, we'll take an example of calcium itself. In calcium, the s orbitals are filled because you can see here 4s2. So 2s orbitals, so for s orbitals, 2 electrons are filled. So it belongs to s block. If we take an example of boron, you see here boron atomic number is 5, 1s2, 2s2 and 2p1. In boron, the last electron is entering into p orbital, so it belongs to p block. Okay, now we'll see how to identify the groups. If the element is belonging to s block, it's very simple. If the element belongs to s block, you can see here s block we have group 1 that are alkali metals and group 2 that are alkaline earth metals. So hydrogen, lithium, sodium we have. So the valence electron represents the group number. So if it's hydrogen, lithium, sodium, so all these elements will have valence electron 1 and the group number is also 1. For example, in case of beryllium, magnesium, calcium, their valence electron is 2 and even their group number is also 2. Now, if the element is belonging to p block, okay, if the element is belonging to p block, group number can be identified is equal to, you see, 10 plus number of valence electrons. So 10 plus number of valence electrons. So the valence electron is ns plus np electrons. We'll take an example. You see here atomic number 17 and the electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2 and 3p5. It is an p block element because the last electron is entering into the p orbital. Now, how to identify the period? So last electronic configuration is 3p. So the last electronic configuration is 3p. Now, the principal quantum number of this is the period. Now we have 3. So it belongs to third period. Now how to identify the group? So group is equal to 10 plus ns plus np electrons of the last orbit. So 10 plus ns, this last orbit is third orbit. So ns, we have 2 electrons, and p, we have 5 electrons. So 10 plus 2 plus 5 is equal to 17. So it belongs to 17th period. Next, if the elements belongs to D block, group number is equal to number of electrons in n minus 1 d subshell plus number of electrons in ns subshell. So I'll explain you with an example. See here, atomic number is equal to 26 and the electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 3d6 and 4s2. As you all know, how to find out the period. So what is the last electronic configuration? It is 4s2. And what is the principal quantum number? It is 4. Now the period, it is fourth period. It's very simple. And for example, any element you can guess. For example, Z is equal to 34. You can just write electronic configuration and you can see here 4s2 and 4p4. And the principal quantum number is 4 of the last electronic configuration. It belongs to fourth period. It's very simple. Now, here the last electron is entering into the d orbital because you can see the last electron is entering d orbitals because 3d10 is the total number of electrons which can be filled. So last electron is entering into d orbital. Now, how to identify the d block elements? So how to identify the group number of d block elements? It is n minus 1 d orbital plus ns orbital. What is this n? N is nothing but the principal quantum number. So principal quantum number is 4. Okay, 4 minus 1 d orbital. So 4 minus 1 is 3d orbital. So number of electrons present in 3d orbital. You can see the number of electrons present in 3d orbital is 6. Plus ns orbital. In ns, how many electrons are there? 2. So 6 plus 2, it is 8 electrons. Totally 8 electrons. So it is 8 group. So one more example you can take here. For example, this here. Once again, only I'll explain this. This one you can see Z is equal to 26. Electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 3d6, and 4s2. As you know, the last electronic configuration is 4s2. Principal quantum number is 4, and the period is fourth one. Group, how to identify the group? If it is of d block elements, we have to see check the principal quantum number, that is here 4, n minus 1 d orbital plus ns orbital. You can see here it is n minus 1 d subshell plus number of electrons in ns subshell. So n minus 1, here there was atomic number 26, n was 4, so 4 minus 1, it is 3. So 3d, number of electrons in 3d subshell plus number of electrons in ns subshell. So see here, number of electrons in ns subshell is 2 and number of electrons in 3d subshell is 6. So 6 plus 2, it is 8. So group number is 8. Next, you can also see about the atomic number 34. Here it is the last electron is entering into p orbital. So if it is entering into p orbital, it is 10 plus ns plus np electrons. So 10 plus, here you can see here s orbital will have 2 electrons, p orbital will have 4 electrons. So 10 plus 4 plus 2, totally of 16 electrons. So it is 16th group. Next of Z is equal to 51, and the electronic configuration you can see here, it's also last electron is entering to p orbital, same way. So if it is of p orbital, 10 plus ns electron plus np electrons. S electrons you can see here 2 are there, and p electrons 3 are there. So 3 plus 2 plus 1, it is 15. So group number is 15th group. So you can practice many example of these type. Next, about IUPAC nomenclature of elements with atomic number greater than 100. So more than 100, we have till 118 elements. No? So there is a nomenclature for atomic numbers for the elements greater than 100. We can name them as, you can see 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And their names have been given as nil, un, bi, tri, quad, pent, hex, sept, oct, and n. Now they are nothing but the prefixes. Okay, they are prefixes of the elements, and we have to add in suffix, that is IUM to it. For example, it is 101. So for 1 it is un. For 0 it is nil. Again 1 it is un. And the suffix is ium. So it is un, nil, un, ium. Then next is you can see here 111. So 1 it is nothing but again un. So un, ium. You can practice many set of examples of this type also. For example, you can see 118. Okay, 118. That is nothing but un, oct, ium. Okay. Now this is about the first part of the periodic table. Thank you.